ended, however very sad to end it, because some of these professional actors will be going on to more professional actor jobs and shows and places and all of these fun things. Some of them will be continuing with me as we perform Driving Miss Daisy coming up January, so I hope that you will buy tickets for that. I will let you know of a certain change. Unfortunately, due to not anything that I have done, we have unfortunately lost our lead, Scrooge. So, yours truly will be going on stage tonight with a cheat sheet. Are you ready for this? The owner of Second Stage Studio Theater has enough talent to play this mean old man. Believe me, I do. I'm a little shaky, but I will make sure that this happens. So are you ready for this? Yeah. Good. Typically, A Christmas Carol is done with 35 different characters. Tonight you're going to see it with 9. Okay? One of them will be playing the part of Scrooge, and 8 others are going to be playing 4 and 5 different characters, running in, changing costumes, doing this, doing that, along with our wonderful sound and lights. Get it right tonight, guys. Ready? Here we go. All right? Relax, grab your cup of wine, soda, coffee, whatever you have. Enjoy your treats. As Second Stage Studio Theater proudly presents A Christmas Carol.
Marley was dead to begin with. There was no doubt whatsoever about that. The register of his burial was signed by the clergyman, the clerk, the undertaker, and the chief mourner. Scrooge signed it, and Scrooge's name was considered good for any piece of business that he chose to put his hand to. Marley was as dead as a doornail. Now, I don't know what there is particularly dead about a doornail. I would think a coffin nail would be a deader piece of iron. Oh, but far be it from me to change the expression, or the country's done for. So, permit me to repeat emphatically that Marley was as dead as a doornail. Scrooge knew he was dead? Why, how could it be otherwise? Scrooge and he had been partners for, I don't know how many years. Scrooge was his sole executor, his sole administrator, and his sole friend, and the only man who mourned him. If you could really say that Scrooge mourned at all. And the mention of Marley's funeral brings me back to the point I started from. Marley was dead. This must be distinctly understood, or nothing wonderful can come from the story I'm going to relate. Scrooge never painted out old Marley's name. There it stood years afterward above the warehouse door. Scrooge and Marley. The firm was known as Scrooge and Marley. Sometimes people new to the business would call him Scrooge, and sometimes they called him Marley. But he answered to both names. It was all the same to him.
Boy, you best watch yourself. Mr. Scrooge will get you.
Ooh, it was bitterly cold, and the fog was as thick as pea soup on that Christmas Eve of 1843, when Scrooge sat busy in his counting house, with his clock nearby, trying to warm himself at a candle. But as he had little imagination, he failed.
Merry Christmas, Uncle.
What?
Said a Merry Christmas, Uncle. God save you.
Bah. Humbug.
Christmas a humbug, Uncle. Surely you don't mean that.
Of course I mean it. Merry Christmas indeed. What reason do you have to be merry? You're poor enough.
Come, Uncle. What reason have you to be dismal? You're rich enough.
Away with Christmas. What's Christmas to you but a time for paying bills without money? A time for growing a day older and not another hour richer. If I had my will, every idiot who goes about with Merry Christmas on his lips should be buried in his own pudding and buried with a stick of holly in his heart. He should.
Uncle.
Nephew! Keep Christmas in your way and let me keep it in mine.
Keep it, but you don't keep it.
Let me leave it alone then. Little good it's ever done you.
Well, there are many things from which I have benefited, even if they didn't show profit, I dare say. Christmas among the rest. I have always thought of Christmas as a good time, a kind, forgiving, charitable, pleasant time. The only time of year I know of when men and women seem by one consent to open up their shut-up hearts freely and truly think of others as if they were fellow passengers to the grave. Therefore, Uncle, though it has never put a scrap of silver or gold in my pocket, I dare say it has done me good and will do me good, and I say, God bless it!
Another sound out of you and you'll be spending your Christmas looking for another position.
Don't be angry, Uncle. Come and dine with us tomorrow.
I'll see myself in hell first.
But why, Uncle?
Why? Why? Let me ask you a question. Why did you get married recently?
Because I fell in love, of course.
Love. Because you fell in love. Good afternoon, nephew.
You never came to see me before I married. Why give it a reason for not coming now?
Good afternoon.
I ask nothing of you. I want nothing from you. Why can't we be friends?
Good afternoon.
Sorry to find you so resolute. We've never had a quarrel, you and I. But I came all this way to give you greetings of the seasons, and I'll keep my Christmas humor to the last. So, a Merry Christmas, Uncle.
Good afternoon.
And a Happy New Year.
Good afternoon!
And a Merry Christmas to you too, Bob Cratchit.
Oh, thank you, sir. A Merry Christmas to you.
There's another fellow, my clerk, making 15 shillings a week, going about with a Merry Christmas on his lips. I retire to Bedlam.
Ah, Scrooge and Marley's, I believe. Do I have the pleasure of addressing Mr. Scrooge or Mr. Marley?
Marley's dead. In fact, he died this very night 7 years ago.
Oh dear.
I'm sorry to hear that. But I hope his charity is well represented within his partner.
At this festive season of the year, Mr. Scrooge, it is more than usually desirable for us to make some slight provisions for the poor and the needy who suffer greatly at the present time. Many thousands are in want of basic needs. Hundreds of thousands are in want of common comfort, sir.
Are there no prisons? Did they disappear?
What? Why, no, sir, there are plenty of prisons.
And the workhouses for the poor, still in operation, I assume?
Why, yes, they are indeed. I wish I could say that they were not.
And the treadmill and the poor law, still in operation, I assume?
Yes, sir, in full vigor then.
Oh, well, I was afraid from what you had said that they had stopped in their useful clause. I'm glad to hear it.
Given that they scarcely furnish Christian cheer to the multitude, a few of us are trying to raise some funds to buy some food, or drink, or walk for the poor. Because it's a time of year where want is keenly felt, and abundance rejoices. So, what should I put you down for, Scrooge?
Nothing.
So you wish to remain anonymous, then?
I wish to be left alone. I don't make merry myself at Christmas, and I can't afford to make idle people merry either. I am taxed for the institutions you have mentioned, and they cost me enough. And those who are badly off should go there.
Oh, but many can't go there, and many would rather die.
Well, if they'd rather die, then let them, and decrease the surplus population.
What?
I don't know anything about it either way.
Oh, but you could know it, sir.
It's none of my business.
Oh, my
I have too much of my business that occupies me constantly. I cannot worry about other people. I would thank you to leave me to it. Good afternoon, gentlemen.
But, sir! Oh, dear me. Oh,
Good afternoon,
never
Scrooge.
seen such a thing.
God bless thee, Mary, gentlemen.
Get away from here with that noise. I did not ask to be bothered with it. Guess it's time.
Yes, sir.
You'll want the whole day off tomorrow, I assume.
If it's quite convenient, sir.
It's not convenient and it's not fair. Paying a day's wages of no work. Boy, if I held back half a crown for it, you would think me ill-used, but you don't think me ill-used if I don't pay you at all for working a day.
It's only once a year, sir.
That is nothing but an excuse for picking a man's pocket every 25th of December. Whatever. You should have it off, then take it off, then. Just be here all the earlier the next morning.
Oh, yes, sir. I shall. I certainly shall.
Father,
Hello, my dear son.
Father, I've been waiting for you.
Have you? Let's go by Corn Hill and watch the children play. Someday you'll be there too, playing with them.
I feel I'm getting stronger every day.
And do you remember what tomorrow is?
Christmas Day.
And I'm to have the whole day off to celebrate with my family.
Hurrah for Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas.
Oh, Scrooge. He was a miserably tight fist at the grindstone, he was. A squeezing, wrenching, grasping, clutching, scraping, covetous old sinner, to be sure. Secret, self-contained, and solitary as an oyster, he carried his own low temperature with him everywhere he went. He iced his office on the dog days, and didn't thaw it 1 degree at Christmas. Scrooge always took his melancholy dinner at the same melancholy tavern, and tonight was no different. He read all the papers and beguiled the rest of the evening with his banker's book before taking himself home to bed. Scrooge lived in chambers that had once belonged to his deceased partner. They were a gloomy suite of rooms, old and dreary, but no one lived there but Scrooge, the other rooms being all let out as offices. Upon arriving at his chambers, he took off his cravat, put on his dressing gown, his nightcap, and his slippers, and sat before the fire to take his gruel, for he had a cold in his head. Oh, it was a low fire indeed, nothing on such a bitter night. He was obliged to sit close to it and brood over it before he could extract the least sensation of warmth from such a handful of fuel.
I won't believe it. How's this? What do you want with me?
Much.
Who are you?
Ask me who I was.
All right then. Who were you?
In life, I was your partner, Jacob Marley.
I won't believe it.
What evidence of my reality would you have beyond that of your senses?
I don't know.
Why do you doubt your senses?
Because a little thing affects them. You might be an underdone chicken cutlet, or an underdone potato, or fragments of some underdone beef or something. You're therefore gravy they grave about you, whatever you are. Oh, mercy, mercy, dreadful apparition, why do you torment me?
Man of the worldly mind, do you believe in me or not?
I have to, I must, of course. But why have you come to me?
It is required of every man that his spirit should walk abroad among his fellow men and travel far and wide and witness what he cannot shed, but might have shed, and turn to happiness. Oh, woe is me!
You are fettered. Tell me why.
I wear the chains I forged in life. I made it link by link, yard by yard, and wore it of my own free will. Is a pattern strange to you? Or would you happen to know the strength and length of the strong coil you bear yourself? It is as long and heavy as this 7 Christmas Eves ago. You have labored on it since. It is a ponderous chain.
Jacob, please, speak comfort to me.
I have none to give. I cannot stay. I cannot rest. I cannot linger anywhere. My spirit has never walked beyond the narrow limits of our money-changing hold. Oh, not to know that any Christian spirit working kindly in its little sphere will find its mortal life too short for its vast means of usefulness. Not to know that no space of regret can make amends with one's life's opportunity misused. Yet such was I. Oh, such was I.
Oh, Jacob, you were always a good man of business.
Business? Humankind is my business. The common welfare is my business. Charity, mercy, forbearance, and benevolence were all my business. The dealings of my trade were but a drop of water in the comprehensive ocean of my business. Oh, why did I walk through crowds of streets of tears with my eyes turned down? Were there no poor homes whose light would have conducted me? Hear me, Ebenezer, my time grows near.
I will, but please don't be hard on me.
I am here to warn you that you have yet a chance of escaping my fate, a chance I have procured for you, Ebenezer.
Oh, thank you, Jacob. You're always such a kind friend.
You will be visited by 3 spirits.
Is that the chance you mentioned?
It is.
Well, then I think I'd rather not.
Without their visits, you cannot hope to shun the path I tread. Expect the first tomorrow, when the bell tolls 1.
And they all come at once and get